We're here in Paris with our former Canon Pastor from Grace Cathedral, Mary Haddad. She's also been on staff at the American Cathedral in Paris, and she's also had important positions in Beverly Hills, All Saints Beverly Hills, and at St. Bartholomew's in New
York City.
Yeah, so she's seen so much of the church in so many different settings and locations, but I'm really here to ask her more about just her spiritual life. And I wonder, Mary, if you can talk about just how your spiritual life has evolved over time. Like, how have you come to see the life of the Spirit in a different way?
That's interesting that you asked that, because my entrance to the church in a formal way 30 years ago, I lifelong Anglican, baptized, confirmed in the church in Canada, Anglican Church of Canada, and then I had an experience at an altar rail 22 years ago, 30 years ago actually, that led me into the church. So, I think sacramentally, the taking in the Eucharist became this entry into the church. But I mentioned earlier, just over coffee, that while I was at Grace Cathedral, I discovered the San Francisco Zen Center. And that was the beginning of what really became my spiritual practice, going to the Zen Center, learning how to meditate. And then leaving Grace Cathedral, going to LA, where I was interim rector at All Saints Beverly Hills, I began a yoga practice. So for me, the Spirit was connecting mind, body, and bringing it all together. Yeah. And I remember going into the San Francisco Zen Center. What was so moving was going into the Zendo and taking your shoes off, and entering the Zendo. Yeah. So that unified way of being mind and body and spirit just spoke to me as something that was missing in the church. I've always said the church left out the body.
I totally agree with you.
And we speak today of embodied spirituality, like it's a thing, when it was always the thing, integrated.
That's one of the things I most admire about your ministry, just that you are a yoga teacher and also an Episcopal priest. And I think that's something that I think is such a gift that I receive at Grace Cathedral, is you're right, I think Christianity is lacking in physical bodily practices, and that yoga really helps us.
Absolutely. I abandoned my my teaching yoga so much, although I go annually to Greece with a yoga teacher, and I do meditation. So meditation is actually the thing that it goes wherever you are. You don't even need a yoga mat. You just the breathing, and that's the first thing I did when I came to the cathedral in Paris, was begin to lead meditation. And when I left a little while ago as canon, and then I'm completely retired now as of May 31st, I've been leading meditation on Zoom for months. And I do these pop-up meditations where I give people like a day's warning, because I just want other people on the screen, which is the whole thing about community, the Sangha. That's the great phrase. And when Thich Nhat Hanh died, and he, who was going to be the next Thich Nhat Hanh, the leader, he said the next leader will be the Sangha. Yeah. That's something to really think about, both in the context of church, how community is the leader, really, and how meditation is so hard alone, but with others, it's something that you can do much more easily with others. I went on an incredible retreat, a Vipassana meditation retreat in March. It took kind of not working to have 10 days where you could dedicate.
Of course,
have you heard of that, the Vipassana meditation?
Yeah.
It's 10 days, 10 hours a day where you're meditating, starting at 4:30 in the morning. And it was extraordinary. It was maybe the hardest thing I've ever done in my life.
Yes.
10
That's
days.
Like the ultimate meditation experience.
Well, they would say, oh, that's nothing. That's, there's the 45-day. But the 10-day was a big deal to even have 10 days. Oh, so it wasn't just meditating. You had no phone, no camera, no pen, no paper, no reading. I had so many people say, oh, I couldn't do without a book or a writing. Right. But that was completely, and I think it was in Lent. Is
Perfect,
that
exactly.
what do we think Jesus
Yeah,
was doing
exactly,
in Lent?
exactly.
What do we think he was doing?
Yeah, he wasn't taking
Well, it
pictures
wasn't
with his
Lent
cell
for him.
phone.
Yeah, it was life. Yeah.
Yeah, I love it. Meditation has been a huge part of my life.
Yeah,
my
yeah.
parents introduced me to a Hindu meditation teacher, and
Wow.
so it's passage meditation. So I memorize like Psalms and say them very slowly, every day. But I wonder if you can just describe your what it is that you're doing in meditation. Breathing.
Well, breathing. But I think that the key is, as I've over the years, is you're becoming aware. I think the myth of meditation is that you're going to chill out. That's nice if it happens, but
Yeah.
it doesn't happen often.
Right.
So what you're really doing is cultivating an awareness and a gentle openness to the present moment, which might be very chaotic and very troubling, the things that are on your mind, but you're just open to them. And if you can, and I think we talk about this, actually the yoga studio in LA, where it became a daily practice for me, said it takes 40 days to change a neural
a habit.
pathway
Yeah,
in
exactly.
the brain. And I thought, why aren't we using in our promotion of Lent,
Right.
like science? It takes 40 days to
Completely,
change a neural
exactly.
pathway. But that's what we're doing. We're in meditation, we're changing the pathways in our brain from reacting and going down that rabbit hole of following a thought and a response to something that's happened, to just coming back to the present moment and being open to it, because you know it's going to change, and it does.
Well, I'm so grateful for you making this time for us in
Absolutely.
Paris. And what a blessing
We've just
it is that
begun. We're going to
we've
have
just
some
begun.
fun.
We're about to go out and
Yep.
see the city.
Absolutely.
So Mary Haddad, we're so grateful to be with her today. And I'm Malcolm Clemens Young, and I'm the Dean of Grace Cathedral in San Francisco, California. Thank you for watching More Good News.